Mel Gibson, once the golden boy of Hollywood, soared to the heights of superstardom. With iconic roles in Braveheart, Lethal Weapon, and Mad Max, he became a household name, a symbol of cinematic excellence and mainstream success. But then, seemingly overnight, the narrative shifted. The actor who had graced the screen with his charisma and talent became the subject of gossip, whispers, and a shadowy campaign to dismantle his career. The question echoed, what happened to Mel Gibson? The answer? Far more shocking than we realize. Mel Gibson was warning us. In a time when the line between personal beliefs and public persona grows ever thinner, Gibson found himself on the wrong side of a cultural revolution. He wasn't just abandoned by his peers. He was targeted, actively silenced, and isolated. Think about the dynamics at play. Directors who once clamored for Gibson's involvement turned their backs. The calls stopped coming. He was pushed to the periphery by an industry that had once adored him. Why? Because Gibson had dared to question the sweeping wave of ideologies that were quietly taking over Hollywood. And for that, the cost was astronomical. The sin that got him canceled. He didn't fall in line with the rising agenda that began to dictate the narrative of the entertainment industry. After the release of The Passion of the Christ, a film that boldly confronted the secular, anti-Christian stance gaining prominence in Hollywood, Gibson became an outcast. In a landscape dominated by progressive themes, Gibson's adherence to traditional values set him on a collision course with the industry's changing script. The shift in Hollywood's script. Hollywood, once a beacon of creative freedom, began to lean into political ideologies. Films that once celebrated unity and human goodness gave way to darker, more controversial themes. Witchcraft, anti-Christian messages, and a broader ideological agenda. These new narratives weren't just trendy. They were part of a larger cultural shift. Gibson, a devout Catholic with a penchant for promoting traditional values, was now the outsider. As Hollywood gravitated toward the controversial, Gibson's worldview no longer fit the mold. And so, he was cast aside. But he wasn't alone. Others, like Jon Voight and Gary Sinise, found themselves similarly sidelined. Voices of tradition, faith, and patriotism drowned out by the rising tide of a new, politically charged Hollywood. These men, once at the top of their game, became casualties in the battle for Hollywood's ideological future. From A-list to isolation. Gibson's fall from grace wasn't an accident. It was a calculated maneuver. The phone call stopped. His films, when released, barely saw the light of day. And when they did, they were met with tepid promotion. Sponsors abandoned him. Media outlets smeared his name, painting him as everything from a racist to a madman. Meanwhile, the industry celebrated those who embraced the new wave of ideologies, accelerating the rise of actors and filmmakers whose works propagated divisive, anti-establishment narratives. Gibson's name became synonymous with controversy. It was as if Hollywood itself had conspired to erase him from the public's memory. The price of standing alone. At the height of his downfall, Gibson stood at the edge of a cliff. His career in ruins, his reputation in tatters, and his very existence in Hollywood all but forgotten. Yet he did something few others dared. He refused to apologize. He did not bend to the new agenda. He remained steadfast in his beliefs, even when it cost him everything. Gibson's journey became more than just a personal tragedy. It became a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of what happens when you refuse to align with the narrative being forced upon you. In the end, his cancellation wasn't just about one man. It was about silencing a voice that refused to conform. Hollywood's hidden forces. What Gibson was trying to tell us all along was that Hollywood wasn't just about making movies, it was about controlling the narrative. Powerful forces had quietly taken the reins, pushing their own agenda through every film, every script, every production. They didn't just want to entertain, they wanted to reshape the culture to push their own ideological views, no matter how divisive. And Mel Gibson, who refused to play along, was cast aside for his trouble. Mel Gibson's legacy. Today, as Hollywood continues to evolve, and as more voices begin to speak out about the dark undercurrents of the industry, Mel Gibson's story is being re-examined. His warning, once dismissed as the ravings of a paranoid outcast, is now being taken seriously. Mel Gibson may have been canceled by Hollywood, but his legacy is far from erased. His career may have been derailed, but in the larger story of the entertainment industry's transformation, he is remembered not as a fallen star, but as a man who had the courage to speak truth to power. The loudest voices, after all, are often the ones trying to warn us about the dangers lurking in plain sight. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and download your free ebook from the link in the description. See you in the next one.